The new set of Karina challenges dropped about a week ago, and I'm usually not the type of person to like bum rush a bunch of the new challenge content on day one or even week one. So it took me a little bit of time to get ready for this, but in this video I'm going to be covering the Karina's Challengers objective. This is the first one I did. I've done a total of 2 as of recording this. The second one is Dimensional Beings, which I'll have a video out shortly after this one. But on this challenge, it was pretty fun for the most part. I spent maybe about 10 revives. A lot of that is just because I'm an idiot and wanted to mess around with some stuff. But either way, I'm just going to show you a lot of like the highlights of the whole run. It took me like an hour and a half, so I'm not showing the whole thing. But we're starting here against this Jubilee with Guillotine 2099, of course, and I'm running my new rank 2 Guillotine. And basically, this is like her ramp up fight, right? So we're just going to get her combo up and then start power controlling Jubilee. Because the worst part of this Jubilee fight is when she starts getting her power surges up, and then you can only use specific hits or else she's going to gain like a bar of power every time, right? So with Guillotine, what you want to do for most of the fights in this run is just power control them to death by spamming your SP1 and just anti-baiting like that, and then using your SP1 like right before they're going to go red or something. And then you can also use the relic to help chain your hits to get more ready for it. So, cut the clip a little bit here where I accidentally threw her special into the block. She luckily did not try to punish me. But we do have almost 400 combo now, meaning we're doing an absurd amount of damage on every hit. I think this might even be lessened because of the fact that it's energy damage, and Jubilee has 40% energy resistance. So I think that that damage should be even higher than it really is. It's just Jubilee's energy resistance is funny, but it's still a lot of damage, right? So we're just spamming the SP1, of course, power draining her until she eventually dies. You can see we're only at like 11 of the challenge rating token things though, so I know I'm about to die pretty soon anyway. She throws an SP1 in my hard block, which is just going to be a common theme of this run if I'm being honest. The amount of specials that were thrown directly into my block is absurd, and we're going to see more of that later, but I revived and she's at 5% now. You don't want to drop your special attack until the opponent's at like 1% with Guillotine, even though it says it's going to auto kill them when they're at 5% or less, because of the damage caps. That's not actually the case. So we need to get her to 1% and then finish the job. Here I'm almost there. I have a concussion on me, which is annoying, but we are at 2% now, and then I just need... Oh yeah, her Sig does that thing where if one of her personal debuffs expires, you take a burst of direct damage, which I didn't remember. So now I have to revive and then just use my single hit heavy attack to get to my SP3 and kill her that way. So luckily I did get the soul in the end, but that was pretty sad. I was like half a second away from dropping the SP3 and killing, so. Alright, next up we're fighting Immortal Abomination. I just wanted to mess around and try She-Hulk first, just to see if it would work. Technically it can work, but I wasn't able to execute it very well. Basically for the iBomb fight, what you want to do is never let him reach 12 poisons, because once he does that, he's going to place acid burns on you. And every time you're immune to a poison, he's going to gain a poison on himself. So basically the goal is to get his acid burns, or I mean his toxic auras maxed out, and then try to keep alternating baiting SP1s and SP2s from him. And at that point, you're hopefully just going to have him keep repeating his poisons from around like the 5 to 11 range. So that they don't ever hit 12 and they don't ever hit 0 either, so that he's not going to lose his aura, because we do need his aura to stay up, right? So he's actually consuming them and not going to max. So this fight was a struggle to keep up She-Hulk's Furies because of the fact that I have to push him to SP2 rather than baiting SP1s a lot of times in this fight. So I definitely think Guillotine is way better. Again, I was just kind of messing around just to see if it would work. And and turns out it doesn't. I'm going to use She-Hulk more for a fight later. That was a pretty nice moment where I had 28 Furies and they all fell off because he didn't want to throw it. So that's neato. And then She-Hulk is also hindered a bit on this path because of the Stifle and Fatigue making her crit less, because a lot of her damage is from those yellow numbers, right? So, yeah, and then he throws his SP1 there, and then I just die to Acid Burn. Unfortunate, but like, it was just messing around. It's not a big deal. And then I tried Crossbones, which I'm not even going to show the clip because don't use Crossbones. That's just don't do it. I promise you, do not use Crossbones for this fight. So now we're using Guillotine. I think Crossbones did like 7% of him. And yeah, we start with 100 combo, obviously. So that's a lot of my ramp already taken care of. And it's just the same thing, alternate which specials I need him to throw. That's going to be an interesting thing for the run, is that I'm running the synergy to where whenever I'm immune to a poison or a bleed, I'm going to gain 70% of a bar of power with a cooldown of 12 seconds. That is a synergy with Warlock. It is super useful, and it's going to be triggering a lot in this run. So, yeah, that's a really cool thing I figured I'd show. We are rooted now, and he's also doing a lot more damage into my block. That is perfectly fine. Because we're almost able to kill him, except he throws his SP1 to my hard block, and then I get acid burned because I wasn't trying to let him throw an SP1. So that's cool. 11%, now he's at 3%, almost able to kill him, 2% now. Again, I just kind of had to build up my combo, so I just cut a lot of it out because obviously we lost all of our ramp because of that, but we do get the soul back right here. And then we move on to the next fight, which is going to be against Diablo. This is the most complicated fight in the run, so I am going to talk a little bit over it before we go in, because I do think he has a very weird mechanic that you have to pay attention to. Basically, every time you strike Diablo with a light attack, you're going to have a dormant, like, brewing, like, chemical kind of thing. And then he's going to tell you which one you need to activate, and then you activate it by using your second medium. So you light attack until you get the one that you want. Once you have it, you do the second medium. Then you need to consume that chemical by dashing back and holding block. So we're going to get into this right here. I'm speeding it up a lot, but you can see there, he had like the green health thing. That's the one I need, so I'm going to double medium to activate it, and then drink it by dashing back and holding block. And yeah, just whichever chemical you need to have, go ahead and get it, and then brew it with your second medium, and then you drink it by dashing back and holding block. So it's kind of annoying, and then in the later phases, like, it takes longer to actually brew the chemical, and then takes longer to consume the chemical and stuff, but it's not that bad a fight. And the reason I'm just using Warlock here is just I wanted to test it, because the thing you need to do for this fight is keep him under control via, like, I mean, keep his healing under control, I should say. So Warlock, obviously, he's got like his heal block, pseudo heal block thing, so we can use that to control it. But what's going to be more successful for you is if you use Guillotine 2099, especially with her SP2s. So now I'm going back in with Guillotine. I drank the drink there, and then we are just ramping up my combo shields a bit. So instead of doing the power control stuff that you normally do with Guillotine, now we're going to be spamming SP2s in this fight to heal reverse him, which the heal reverse does not have like the most insane duration, so we can't use it with like 100% uptime or anything. And then it's especially annoying like when it falls off and he's starting to heal again. But once you get your combo up a bunch, then you're just hitting so hard that it's like fine if he starts healing a bit, right? So do not be discouraged when you see him healing so much, because once your combo keeps going up, that's not going to matter as much later. You do still want to keep throwing SP2s most of the fight. That SP1 was a mistake. I learned that I shouldn't be doing that pretty quickly. And then an important thing about this fight, I don't know why I'm dropping SP1s. I shouldn't be dropping SP1s. Important thing about this fight as well is that I am using Guillotine's pre-fights that allows her to power burn. That's just going to let Diablo throw less special attacks, so he has less opportunities to trigger the regen. So The power burn pre-fight, you trigger the power burn on your mediums, which is really, really solid. So it's just less special attacks coming out of that guy, and then that means less healing that he can have access to, right? So here we're at like 364 combo, he's at half health now, and I am just pushing him to special 2. You have to dex it in the root, but it's not that difficult, so it's okay. And there, I drop my SP2, his health is going down pretty solidly, and then every time he just drops another special attack, he's just going to keep getting regen reversed, which is pretty awesome, right? So now he's at 31%. I do need to make sure to always brew the correct ingredients and then consume them like that, so that he's not doing a burst of damage to me. And then just keep spamming the SP2s, which is just going to do a bajillion burst damage off of the actual hits, and then a bajillion damage based off of heal reversing. You do kind of need him to be aggressive with his special attacks sometimes, which he's not always going to do because he sucks. However, it's okay if he doesn't. You can afford for him to regen a little bit, right? So, anyway, he's healing a good bit there, but I'm going to drop my SP1 after the relic right here, push him to an SP2, and then he's going to drop his SP2 right here, question mark, yep. And then, yeah, he's regen reversing, not much to say here. I know something's going to happen soon that kind of sucks. Oh yeah, so at this point in the fight, I was like, I'm going to try to just power control him to death instead of going for the regen reversal. That was not the correct call. I should have just stuck with SP2s instead of doing whatever the hell this is. And I think, what am I doing here? Am I going for an SP2? Okay, I am going for an SP2 now. That's the smart thing. So again, I don't know why I'm dropping SP1s in this fight. Don't drop SP1s in this fight. It makes it a lot more annoying. Oh, here, I'm anti-baiting his special attacks a bunch to see if I can catch the soul. Yeah, I'm just doing this, trying to get him to 1% ideally, and then something tragic happens because he drops his SP2 into my hard block, and I'm not ready for it because I'm anti-baiting it. I swear, every single fight in this run, they just drop their specials into my hard block. I guess that's just kind of the karma you get when you're playing a character who's just gonna, you know, control them like that. So, we revive Warlock. If my Void was duped, I'd probably use him, but my Void is unduped, so I don't have as great control on the regen as I'd like to have. So I don't bother using Void. I'm just going to use Warlock, speed up the process, and try to push him to 2% and let Guillotine finish it. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. There, my ingredient is brewed. I can drink it. And yeah, it's just chipping him down. We need to get him to that 1% threshold, which it does take a little while because Warlock is like the definition of a short fight character, so this is pretty terrible for him. However, you know, we only need to get him to do a little bit of percent, so it's not that big a deal. 4% now. I'm gonna drop the special 2 right here. Does some decent damage. 3%, 2%, and I think I'm gonna quit out right here, and then let Guillotine try to capture the soul with Guillotine. So, one thing I decided to do that I thought was kind of funny, and that's I'm gonna exploit the synergy, where I get 70% of a bar when I am immune to a bleed or a poison. So I'm gonna like eat a heavy attack, and I'm like trying to run into his heavy attack, and then eventually got hit by it there. That's intentional because I want to get to special 3 before he has the opportunity to drop a bunch of special attacks. And then I eventually just get to it anyway. So yeah, that was kind of funny, but we did get the soul. So now we move on to the next fight, which is against this Squirrel Girl here. And yeah, so we came in, the fight already ramped up a good bit. In this fight, it's not that difficult. It's probably one of the easier ones this run. I'm going to be mainly doing power control stuff, but with a little bit of SP2s at the start just to build combo. The main gimmick of this fight is the fact that you need to get the squirrel off of you. And the squirrel's going to get on you like every 18 seconds. The way you get rid of the squirrel is just by knocking her down. So you just need to bait a bunch of heavies, punish them with my heavies, because the other portion of this node is that if you try to heavy her when she's stunned, she is going to go unstoppable. And that's pretty bad. So we're going to be either using our knockdowns via special attacks or just baiting heavies and countering with my own heavy, right? So there might be ways to like punish her special attacks with your heavy attack. Well, there are ways, at least the special 2 for sure. I think the special 1 you have the correct spacing for. I don't exactly remember, but you do have those little ruptures on you. They're really annoying, but it's not too big a deal, especially if you're boosted up properly and you're playing a rank 2 guillotine. Drops SP1 to my block, that's cool. But here, I got my regen going from Guillotine's kit, and that regen really just gave me so much health. So now she's at 15%, I'm back up at 50, so that feels great. And we're just doing the same thing, just power control her until she dies. Try to slow combo a bit there to get the knockdown when the squirrel is on me. Unfortunately, for some stupid reason, it still, it triggers on like the last hit of a special attack instead of the knockdown. And then there I just get hit somehow, but I am able to use my cloak to get rid of the squirrel. And then I do that cool thing, which I didn't know that was possible, but I guess 60 FPS magic is a real thing, right? So here, I'm holding my special 3. Guess what she's gonna do? Special I'm not ready for, straight into hard block. So there goes my soul, which now I've got to do the whole thing again where she's at 2% and I need to get to a special 3 and kill her. So I am able to do that, obviously. I just cut that portion out, and now we're fighting Silver Centurion. This fight is at 4x speed, and it's also like the most successful fight that was on the whole run. This was my only solo, I believe. And yeah, Guillotine destroys this fight. You just spam SP1s the entire way through, and then it takes a while, but she's able to solo it rank 2 with boosts and stuff just fine. He's going to drop specials into your block because that's just the thing the AI does now. However, you can just block them. You have the nice armor and stuff, even though her health pool is pretty low. I mean, there's a lot of those you can afford to take before you die, right? So we're about like the midpoint in the fight. He's at like 71%, but again, our damage just goes up and up and up until 600 combo, which I don't even believe ever happens. So accidentally drop into his block there, but it's fine. Just keep spamming the SP1s. That's literally the only thing we do this fight. And then he's at below 50% now. And then we're actually going to get a break from Guillotine for the next fight against Spidey 99. Because again, her damage is like all energy and stuff, and his resistance ups just suck, so we don't want to deal with that. We're going to use crossbones, but we're not even there yet, so let me just continue to talk about Silverman. He's dead. He's dead right there, so 444 combo to finish it off, pretty cool. And then that's my only solo this entire run, because a lot of the fights I was just like screwing around for. Obviously I could have soloed iBomb, I could have soloed Diablo probably, and I could have soloed Squirrel Girl if she did not throw the frickin' special into my block, but yeah, we're gonna use bones for this fight, and in this fight, 2 things are gonna be happening. One, he's gonna be placing a wither on you, which you remove by dexing him. The reason you don't want the wither on you is because then he's going to start placing ruptures through your block, because that's how he works. He places the ruptures through your block if he strikes the block when the wither's active. And Crossbones does have a bunch of Purify and stuff, however my Crossbones is not a very high sig. I think he's only sig 20 or sig 40, so we can't rely on that Purify at all. We do need to manage getting the wither off of us at a decent amount of time. And then the second portion of this fight is the fact that he's going to start getting a power gain passive every certain amount of seconds. And then you remove the power gain just by blocking him. So eventually you're just going to be forced to block him, right? So it is about managing your spacing on countering his special attacks and his heavy attacks, which is actually pretty simple. Like, he's one of the easier fights to like space control, because all of his special attacks and heavy attacks are very counterable with most champions. You just need like to know the math, which is it's usually just 2 bashbacks, and I for some reason do more sometimes because I'm stupid. and then I end up messing it up. But with Crossbones, you just drop the special 3 to gain the big fat precision, and like before that precision expires, you drop the SP1s and stuff. And try to not lose Furies by using heavy attacks often. Another way this fight can be elongated is if you let him throw a bunch of SP1s, because he's going to gain a bunch of resistance ups. Crossbones cannot crit, meaning that resistances are going to affect him greatly, because he doesn't really have a way to bypass it, at least I'm pretty sure. I'm not a Crossbones connoisseur. I don't really like this champion, but I knew I'd need him. If you do not have Crossbones or just don't want to play him, you can probably use either Shang-Chi or Mole Man to do this fight. I don't have either of them ranked, and I don't think I have Mole Man as a 7-star at all. So Bones was just going to be the way to go for me. And I do think he is going to be the best option of the 3 of them. I just don't enjoy playing Bones too much, so which is kind of funny because I believe he was like a character showcase in like one of my first 5 videos ever or something. Because I played like the 5-star back in the day for a long time. Here are my game lags, and then he just drops the SP1, which is super cool. Love the game lag right there, really conveniently timed. And then I probably should be throwing more SP2s in this fight than I actually do. I was worried that like the resistance up would just like make it not worth it. Turns out, yeah, I should have been doing it anyway, because they still do a crap ton of damage regardless. But I am going to drop another SP3 here. I'm going to push him 2 bars of power with it. And yeah, we do the grenade thing. He's going to throw a special 2. Then I counter it with my heavy attack. And yeah, we just want to keep those Furies pause. Relic into a heavy right here. They're paused again. He drops the special 2. I do get the counter correct. Now I refresh my Furies. He drops an SP1 to hard block. That's awesome. And here I'm going to go for an SP2. That's also going to push him to his SP2, which is exactly what I want. And then the Incinerates, they still do decent damage, right? Even with 45 of his resistances. I mess up the special 2 counter because I suck, but that is okay. We're still alive, right? I'm not going to live too much longer because like once he gets into the rooted phase, I'm just going to mess up on a special attack. He doesn't have like the easiest specials to dex in the rooted phase, but I was able to do it pretty well when I did this path initially. Like for initial completion of Necropolis, I was able to counter special attacks well in the roots, but I lost all that magic. It's not in my head anymore, so eventually I'm just going to eat one. But either way, this is like a 2 revive fight for me. It could be a solo for you, it could be 1 revive for you. It could be more revives for you, depending on how experienced you are with Crossbones. But yeah, Crossbones is just the best option for this fight, I think. And it's the only fight that requires you to like not use Guillotine. So you have Guillotine from like the supply drop thing. Everyone should be ranking her because she is crucial for this objective. You just have to play her. And then yeah, I die there. I was gonna lose my Furies anyway, so it wouldn't have been a big deal. And then here I go back in. Ramp up my Furies. This is like the 2nd revive. I cut the 1st revive out because I think I just did something stupid or something like that. But yeah, we are at 36 Furies. He's not going to last much longer. And yeah, just use Bones for this fight because he's really, really good for it. Drop the SP2 here. The Incinerates are ticking. They do 10k per tick. And then we just like don't let him trigger a bunch of resistance ups because of the ability accuracy reduction, so that's cool. 1 combo should do the trick, and kill him with that light attack right there. And now we're down to the final fight in this video, and that's going to be against Sunspot. This is a really, really easy fight, and you should be using Guillotine here. I'm just using She-Hulk because I wanted to mess around and see if she could do it. Turns out she can do it. She's actually quite good for this fight. And we're going to see me go, and you can see like a lot of the fight here. I initially start by eating a combo because that sounds like a great thing to do. But we're going to be fine after this. We're not going to take a bunch of damage until eventually I die. Basically, you just like hit him. Believe it or not, that's like all you do in this fight. And let him throw special attacks, which he's very inclined to do because of the fact that each Fury on She-Hulk is like a mini taunt, right? So like once you have 7, they're like 100% more likely to throw a special attack or something. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't go any higher than that. And they're still going to be, like, stupid sometimes and not throw a special. But oftentimes you're going to be able to get it. So this fight starts getting annoying when he gets the power stings on you and you can't spam SP1 anymore, because spamming SP1 is like one of your larger sources of fury gain. Otherwise you're just kind of relying on like the 12% chance or something that you're going to proc one on a basic hit. So that sucks. The power stings suck. It's whatever. But we still have 10 of them, right? And we're still hitting pretty hard. It's not going to be like hard enough to where this is a solo. I don't think She-Hulk can solo any of the fights on this path due to challenger rating and just some of them not being practical for her at all. But you can still have fun, like I tried to, using her here. So I'm going to bait the special attack out of him. I'm going to drop the SP3 after I bait one more. So he's at low power, because I'm going to have a nice stun at the end that I do want to take advantage of. I'm going to see the SP3 because it looks super cool, and I haven't even seen it with She-Hulk's new model yet. So that's pretty awesome. He's stunned now, and yeah, we just do some pretty nice damage, which is mitigated by the fact that we're fatigued a lot and can't crit sometimes, but it's whatever, right? So I get an intercept there. He's going to drop his special. I'm power stung, so I can't throw any SP1s, so again, just relying on RNG for fury gain, which sucks, but it is what it is. And then I'm going to cut the clip soon to later in the fight, because it's just the same thing where I just drop SP3 once the power stings are gone, and that's basically it. I want to drop it when he's at low power too, to take advantage of the stun again. And then yeah, drop it here, skip it, and now we're going to clip right here to another SP3. He's at 54% now, I'm at 27. I have a lot of hits on my combo meter, and now we're hitting super hard on the basics with 35 Furies. He drops an SP2 here. It's pretty easy to dex while rooted because the first two initial hits usually aren't going to be able to connect to you. And then the SP1, he throws it. I'm actually going to die the SP1 because I'm a moron. This is a soloable fight, and then I just throw it away because I'm really stupid. You're going to see pretty soon what happens. Yeah, there it is. I dex too early, I dash in to hit him to like save my Furies or whatever, and then I die. Because he medium intercepts me. So that's awesome. That was a fight that I could have soloed. Sucks, but it is what it is. And I can just easily finish it with a guillotine, right? So we go back in. I don't have any of my ramp ready because we didn't lock it in after the Silver Centurion fight, because I had to power control him the whole way through, so I was never really able to get to an SP3. But we, you know, just build up combo and kill him. It's a really, really, really easy fight, honestly. That's probably the easiest one out of all of them, that Sunspot with guillotine. You just might not always have your soul ramped for it. And you don't have to use She-Hulk at all for that like I did. I was just kind of messing around. So that's my first challenge done. I got the Deathless She-Hulk piece and emote. And then I do have a 7-star crystal to open. This was recorded before I opened my Titan crystals because the pool hadn't shifted yet. I'm going to upload what my Titan crystals were pretty soon, like in the next few days. But as far as how I was rewarded from this challenge, I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm gonna get. It's gonna be a first-time dupe on Terrax. I don't like the Cosmic class that much, but Terrax I find to be one of the more interesting characters in there. So I definitely think I'm gonna rank Terrax somewhere along the line. So I hope this video helped you out on your run if you haven't done it already. I know I uploaded this kind of a while after it came out, but I figured, you know, it'd be useful for people to see anyway, right? So hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you in the next one.